안녕하세요. 산타 잉글리시입니다. 오늘은 매직 트리하우스 Dinosaur Before Dark 책을 끝까지 읽어보도록 하겠습니다.
Chapter 1 Into the Woods
Help, a monster, said Annie. Yeah, sure, said Jack. A real monster in Rock Creek, Pennsylvania. Run, Jack, said Annie. She ran up the road. Oh, brother, thought Jack. This is what he got for spending time with his 7-year-old sister. Annie loved pretend stuff, but Jack was an 8.5. He liked real things. Watch out, Jack! The monster's coming, said Annie. Jack didn't say anything. Come on, Jack, I race you, said Annie. No thanks, said Jack. Annie raced alone into the woods. Jack looked at the sky. The sun was about to set. Come on, Annie, it's time to go home, yelled Jack. But Annie didn't answer. Jack waited. Annie, he called again. Jack, Jack, Annie shouted. Come here, quick! Jack groaned. This better be good, he said. Jack left the road and headed into the woods. The trees were lit with a golden late afternoon light. Over here, called Annie. Annie was standing under a tall oak tree. Look, she said. She pointed at a rope ladder. It was hanging down from the high in the tree. Wow, Jack whispered. At the top of the tree was a treehouse, tucked between two branches. That must be the highest treehouse in the world,
said Annie.
Who built it? Asked Jack. I've never seen it before. I don't know, but I'm going up, said Annie. No, we don't know who it belongs to, said Jack. Just for a teeny minute, said Annie. She started up the ladder. Annie, come back, said Jack. But Annie kept climbing. She climbed all the way up to the tallest branches. Jack sighed. Annie, it's almost dark. We have to go home. Annie disappeared inside the treehouse. Annie, Jack called. Jack waited a moment. He was about to call again when Annie poked her head out of the treehouse window. Books! Annie shouted. What? Jack said. It's filled with books, said Annie. Oh man, Jack thought. He loved books. Jack pushed his glasses into place. He gripped the side of the rope ladder and started up.
Chapter 2 The Monster
Jack crawled into the treehouse. Wow, he said. The treehouse was filled with books. Books were everywhere. Very old books with dusty covers and new books with shiny, bright covers. Look, said Annie. You can see far away. She was peering out the treehouse window. Jack looked out the window with her. Below were the other trees. In the distance, he could see the Rock Creek Library, an elementary school, and the park. Annie pointed in the other direction. There's a house, she said. Annie was right. Jack could see their white wooden house with its golden porch. In the yard next door was their neighbor's black dog, Henry. He looked very tiny. Hi, Henry, shouted Annie. Shush! We're not supposed to be here, said Jack. Jack glanced around the treehouse again. He noticed the bookmark was sticking out of many of the books. I wonder who owned all these books, he said. I like this one, said Annie. She picked up a book about castles on the cover. Here's a book about Pennsylvania, said Jack. He turned to the page with the bookmark. Hey, here's a picture of Rock Creek, said Jack. It's a picture of these woods. Oh, here's a book for you, said Annie. She held up a book about dinosaurs. A blue silk bookmark was sticking out of it. Let me see, said Jack. He set his backpack down and grabbed the book from Annie. Okay, you can see it, and I look at the one about castles, said Annie. No, we better not, said Jack. We know who these books belongs to. But even as he said this, Jack was opening the dinosaur book to the place where the bookmark was. He could help himself. He turned to a page, ancient flying reptile. He recognized it was a pteranodon. He touched the huge bat-like wings in the picture. Wow, whispered Jack. I wish we could go to the time of the pteranodons. Jack studied the picture of odd-looking creatures soaring through the sky. Ah! Screamed Annie. What? Said Jack. A monster! Cried. She pointed out the treehouse window. Stop pretending, Annie, said Jack. No, really, said Annie. Jack looked out the window. A giant creature was gliding above the treetops. It had long, weird crest on the back of its head, a skinny beak, and huge bat-like wings. It's a real-life pteranodon. The creature swooped through the sky. It looked like a glider plane. It was coming straight toward the treehouse. Get down! cried Annie. Jack and Annie crouched into the floor. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Chapter 3.
Where is here?
Jack opened his eyes. Sunlight slanted through the window. The treehouse was still high in the tree, but it wasn't the same tree. Where are we? Said Annie. She and Jack looked out the window. The pteranodon was soaring through the sky. The ground was covered with ferns and tall grass. There was a winding stream, a sloping hill, and volcanoes in the distance. I don't know where we are, said Jack. The pteranodon glided down to the base of the tree. It landed on the ground and stood very still. So what do you happen to us? Said Annie. Well, said Jack. I was looking at the picture in the book, and you said, wow, I wish to go to the time of the pteranodons, said Annie. Yeah. Then we saw a pteranodon in the Frog Creek woods, said Jack. Yeah. And then the wind got loud and the treehouse started spinning, said Annie. And we landed here, said Jack. And we landed here, said Annie. So that means, said Jack. So that means what? Said Annie. I don't know, said Jack. He shook his head. None of this can be real. Annie looked out the window again. But he's real, she said. He's very real. Jack looked out the window with her. The pteranodon was standing at the base of the tree, like a guard. His giant wings were spread out on either side of him. Hi! Annie shouted. Shh, said Jack. We're not supposed to be here. But where is here? Said Annie. I don't know, said Jack. Hi! Who are you? Annie called to the pteranodon. The creature just looked at her. Are you nuts? He can talk, said Jack. But maybe the book can tell us. Jack looked at the book. He read the words under the picture. This flying reptile lived in the Cretaceous period. It vanished 65 million years ago with dinosaurs. That's impossible, said Jack. We can't have gone to the time 65 million years ago. Jack, said Annie. He's nice. Nice, said Jack. Yeah, I can tell, said Annie. Let's go down to him. Go down? Said Jack. Annie started down the rope ladder. Hey, come back, said Jack. But Annie kept going. Annie, wait, Jack called. Annie dropped to the ground. She stepped boldly up to the ancient creature.
Chapter 4. Henry.
Jack gasped as Annie reached out her hand toward the pteranodon. Oh no, he thought. Annie was always trying to make friends with animals, but this was going too far. Don't get too close to him, Annie, Jack shouted. Annie touched the pteranodon's crest. She stroked his neck. She was talking to him. What in the world is she saying? Jack wondered. He took a deep breath. Okay, he would go down too. It would be good to examine the pteranodon. He would take notes like a scientist. Jack started down the rope ladder, went away from a few feet away from the creature. The pteranodon stared at Jack. His eyes were bright and alert. He's soft, Jack, said Annie. He feels like Henry. Jack snorted. He's no dog, Annie. Feel him, Jack, said Annie. Jack didn't move. Don't think, Jack. Just do it, Annie said. Jack stepped forward. He reached out very cautiously. He brushed his hand through the creature's neck. Interesting, Jack thought. A thin layer of fuzz-covered pteranodon's skin. Soft, huh? Said Annie. Jack reached into his backpack and pulled out a pencil and notebook. He wrote, "Fuzzy skin." What are you doing? Asked Annie. Taking notes, said Jack. We are probably the first people in the whole world to ever see a real-life pteranodon. Jack looked at the pteranodon all right. The bony crest on the top of his head was longer than Jack's arm. I wonder how smart he is, Jack said. Very smart, said Annie. Don't count on it, said Jack. His brain is probably no bigger than a bean. No, he's very smart. I can feel it, said Annie. I'm going to call him Henry. Jack wrote his notebook. Small brain? Jack looked at the creature again. Maybe he's a mutant, he said. The pteranodon tilted his head. Annie laughed. He's not a mutant, Jack. Well,
What's he doing here?
where is this place? Said Jack. Annie leaned closer to the pteranodon. Do you know where we are, Henry? She asked softly.
The creature fixed his eyes on
Annie. He turned long, were opening and closing like a giant pair of scissors. Are you trying to talk to me, Henry? Asked Annie. Forget it, Annie. Jack wrote in his notebook. Mouth like scissors. Did he come time long ago, Henry? Asked Annie. Is this place from long ago? Suddenly, Annie gasped. Jack! Jack looked up. Annie was pointing toward the hill. On the top stood a huge dinosaur. Chapter 5.
Gold in the grass.
Go, go, said Jack. He threw his notebook into his pack. He pushed Annie toward the rope ladder. Bye, Henry,
she said.
Go,
Go,
said Jack. He gave Annie another push. Quit it, she said, but she started up the ladder. Jack scrambled after her. Jack and Annie tumbled into the treehouse. They were panting as they looked out the window at the dinosaur. It was standing on the hilltop, eating flowers off the tree. Oh man, whispered Jack. We are in a time long ago. The dinosaur looked like a huge rhinoceros with 3 horns instead of 1. It had 2 long horns above its eyes, and another one grew out from its nose. It had big shield-like things behind its head. "Triceratops," said Jack. "Does he eat people?" whispered Annie. "I'll look it up." Jack grabbed the Dinosaur Book. He flipped through the pages. "There," said Jack, pointing to a picture of a Triceratops. He read the caption. "The Triceratops lived in the late Cretaceous period. The plant-eating weighed over 12,000 pounds." Jack slammed the book shut. "Just plants, no meat." "Good," said Annie. "Let's go see him up close." "Are you crazy?" said Jack. "Don't you want to take notes about him?" asked Annie. "We're probably the first picture in the whole world to ever see a real-life Triceratops." Jack sighed. Annie was right. "Okay, let's go," he said. Jack shoved the Dinosaur Book into his pack. He slung the pack over his shoulder. Annie started down the ladder, and Jack followed her. "Just promise you won't pet him," Jack called down to Annie. "I promise," said Annie. "Promise you won't kiss him," said Jack. "I promise," said Annie. "Promise you won't talk to him." "I promise," said Annie. "Promise you won't." "Don't worry," said Annie. Annie was the Pteranodon gave them a friendly look. Annie blew a kiss at him. "Be back soon, Henry," she called. "Shh," said Jack, and he led the way slowly, carefully through the ferns. When Jack and Annie reached the bottom of the hill, they knelt behind a bush. Annie started to speak, but Jack quickly put his finger to his lips. Then he and Annie peeked out at the Triceratops. The dinosaur was bigger than a truck. He was eating the flowers off the magnolia tree. Jack slipped his notebook out of his pack. He wrote, "Eats flowers." Annie nudged him. Jack ignored. He studied the Triceratops again. He wrote, "Eat slowly." When Jack and Annie reached the bottom of the hill, they knelt behind a bush. Annie started to speak, but Jack quickly put his finger to his lips. Then Annie peeked out at the Triceratops. The dinosaur was bigger than a truck. He was eating the flower off the magnolia tree. Jack slipped the notebook out of his pack. He wrote, "Eats flowers." Annie nudged him. Jack ignored her. He studied to his Triceratops again. He wrote, "Eat slowly." Annie nudged him hard. Jack looked at her. Annie put it to herself. She walked her fingers through the air. She pointed to the dinosaur. She smiled. Is she teasing? Jack wondered. Annie waved at Jack. Jack started to grab her. She laughed and jumped away. She fell into his grasp in full view of the Triceratops. "Get back!" whispered Jack. Too late. The big dinosaur had spotted Annie. He gazed down at her from half magnolia flower was sticking out of his mouth. "Oops," said Annie. "Get back," Jack said again. "He looks nice, Jack," Annie said. "Nice? Watch out of his horns, Annie," said Jack. The Triceratops gazed calmly down at Annie. Then he turned and loped down the side of the hill. "Bye," said Annie. He turned back to Jack. "See?" Jack grunted, but he wrote in the notebook. "Nice. Come on, let's look around some more," said Annie. As Jack started after her, he saw something glittering in the tall grass. Jack reached down and picked it up. It was a gold medallion. The letter was engraved on the medallion. A fancy M. Oh man, someone was here before us, Jack said softly. Chapter 8.
A giant shadow.
Jack jumped behind the magnolia tree. His heart was beating so fast he could hardly think. He peeked out the giant monster. The horrible-looking creature was opening and closing his huge jaws. His teeth were big as steak knives. Don't panic, thought Jack. Think. He peered down the valley. Good. The dog-billed dinosaur was sticking close to their nest. Jack looked back at the Tyrannosaurus. Good. The monster still didn't seem to know he was there. Don't panic. Think. Maybe there's information in the book. Jack opened the Dinosaur Book. He found Tyrannosaurus Rex. He read, Tyrannosaurus Rex was one of the largest meat-eating land animals of all time. If it was alive today, it could eat a human in one bite. Great, thought Jack. The book was no help at all. Jack tried to think clearly.
He couldn't hide on the other side of the hill.
An Tyrannosaurus might stampede. He couldn't run to the treehouse. The Tyrannosaurus might run faster. Maybe he should just wait for a monster to leave. Jack peeked around the treehouse. The Tyrannosaurus head wandering closer to the hill. Something caught Jack's eyes. Annie was coming down the rope ladder. Is she nuts? What is she doing? Jack wondered. Jack watched Annie off the ladder.
Annie hurried over to the
Pteranodon. She was talking to him. She was flapping her arms. She pointed at Jack, at the sky, at the treehouse. She's nuts,
Jack thought.
Go back up in the tree, Jack whispered. Go! Jack heard a roar. The Tyrannosaurus Rex was looking in his direction. Jack hit the ground. The Tyrannosaurus Rex was coming toward the hill. Jack felt the ground shaking. What should I do? Jack wondered. Should I run, crawl back in the dinosaur valley, climb up the magnolia tree? Suddenly, a giant shadow covered Jack. He looked up. The Pteranodon was gliding overhead. The giant creature sailed to the top of the hill. He was heading toward Jack.